We're back with Batman Arkham Knight. In this second part of 3 videos, I've decided to dedicate a whole video into looking at each of the 3 islands in turn to find as many Easter eggs, references, and any other points of interests. If you want to see part 1, where I cover the main story and most wanted side missions, then I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video. And if you do enjoy this and want to watch part 3, where I cover DLC Easter eggs, then subscribe, that way you can stay up to date on all future videos I put up. Now it's time to explore Gotham City. Starting out with some general things that you can find throughout the city, there are street signs that are named after Rocksteady developers. There are several advertisements promoting other locations within the DC lore. Metropolis, where Superman resides, has imagery that reflects this with double meaning of the word fly and a red streak across the sky. Keystone, home to the 2 Flashes, Wally West and Jay Garrick, also allude to the speedsters with a double meaning run and a red blinking streak. The island of Santa Prisca in the Caribbean Sea has a prison on it where the supervillain Bane was born. And Blackgate Mall was constructed after its days as a prison and was first referenced in Batman Arkham City. Though he's never seen, the character Anarchy, last seen in Arkham Origins, has a symbol marked all over Gotham. Now onto the first island. The Panessa Studios has its own district to the north of Bleak Island, and is named after the Panessa crime family. Maria Panessa married the Don of the Bertinelli crime family, and had a daughter they named Helena, who would later become the Huntress. There are many posters you can find all around Panessa Studios, and many of these show the names of the game developers, amongst names from the comics. The Terror stars Basil Karlo, a former actor turned criminal who became the shape-shifting supervillain Clayface. Aging actor Simon Trent is the crime fighter Grey Ghost, first introduced in the animated series. The Prosecutor and Other Fish to Fry are 2 films starring Paul Sloan, a method actor hired to pretend to be Two-Face, where his path to criminality turned him into the charlatan. The Dark Interlude stars Matt Hagen and features Basil Karlo, Preston Payne and Sondra Fuller, who all become their own iteration of Clayface. Dr. Emil Dorian is a character from the animated series who experimented with human and animal DNA to create mutants. There are 2 Flying Graysons posters before and after the tragedy that struck Dick Grayson's family. And a Wonder City poster, last seen in Arkham City, recalls Ra's al Ghul's plans of making a perfect utopia. The other distinctive location outside of the film studio is Dixon Dock West, which is named after the comic book writer Chuck Dixon. There are several industrial buildings in the Cauldron District that refer to particular characters. Carmine Falcone is one of the Italian crime bosses, and supposedly the father of Catwoman. Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask, is another crime lord with a penchant for masks and torture. Ted Cord is a businessman and a scientific genius who became the second Blue Beetle. And Gotham Gas Company features the Aquaman symbol. As there are numerous commercial buildings on the island, I'll organise them into city blocks for each entry. Angie's Laundrette may refer to Angela Spiker. She's a member of the superhero group called The Authority, who has a nanotechnology in her body that gives her special abilities, and whose mother worked in a laundrette. Ted's Electronics is another homage to the second Blue Beetle. As Ted Cord has no superpowers, he relies on his genius-level intellect to create gadgets. Musicmeister has the ability to control people through song and first appeared in Batman Brave and the Bold animated series. Jackanapes is a gorilla who Joker stole from the zoo and raised into a criminal. The name is also a play on Jack Napier, which was Joker's real name in the Tim Burton's Batman movie. Tapestry is an immortal sorceress from the Wildstorm universe. Belle Reve is a prison facility used to contain metahuman criminals and is the base of operations for the Suicide Squad. And Beretti's Pizza is named after Angelo Beretti, a gangster from the animation Batman Guardian of Gotham. This restaurant is named after Rocksteady's senior promo artist, Tomasz Niemilski, along with a picture of him as a chef. The Wayne Foundation Community Center has a letter in the form of Wonder Woman's symbol. McKee Gems is the comic artist Angus McKee. This shop is named after the real-life Italian-born fashion design artist, who some members of Rocksteady seem to be fans of. Julie's Boutique may be based on one of Bruce Wayne's earliest love interests, Julie Madison. And Zatanna Zatara is a magician and a member of Justice League Dark. This shop is named after Tenzil Kem, who's a superhero from the future known as Matter-Eater Lad, who has the power of superhuman digestion and can eat any form of matter. Jazzman's music refers to Jimmy Peak, aka the Jazzman, who's a gangster from the animated series. This may be a bit of a leap, but milliner is someone who makes and sells hats, and another word for hatter, so this may be the first reference to the Mad Hatter in the game. Cal Brow is a fictional brewery and a business subsidiary owned by Lex Luthor. Oblivion Bar is the headquarters for the magical superhero group known as the Shadow Pact. And the Secret Six is a reference to the supervillain team. Fingers is a reference to Bill Finger, the co-creator of Batman. Quilt's Laundromat is named after the villain Crazy Quilt. Earl Cooper is a mechanical genius and ally to Batman who designed and maintains the Vigilante's Batmobile. And the Royal Flush Gang are a card-based group of villains. Ocean Master is the supervillain, or Marius, the half-brother and arch-nemesis of Aquaman. Blaze Comics is a fictional comic book company in the DC universe. Booster Gold is a superhero who is usually featured in Blaze Comics. And Roland and Mark Desmond are brothers who would go on to become Batman villains with super strength, and both calling themselves Blockbuster. This grocery store is a reference to the character Buddy Standler, who made his first appearance in the animated series as the villain Condiment King. KG Bagels is a play on the name of the Russian mercenary KG Beast. Jonathan Cheval is the Monocle, who's an enemy of Hawkman and the Justice Society of America. And Osamu Towers is named after Jiro Osamu, who's the Japanese vigilante from Batman Incorporated. Gotham Frost is named after Killer Frost, the meta-human name of Dr. Caitlin Snow, who has the ability to control ice. A homage to the movie Man of Steel can be found on this shop front. The Codex is an important part of the film's story as it holds the genetic information on creating Kryptonian life. The Riverside Lounge is a popular location for gangsters and was seen in Batman Issue 0. There's another shop reference to Killer Frost, this time showing her human name, Caitlin Snow. The Ace Chemicals company has always had an importance in Batman lore, as it was the location where Joker was created after he fell into a vat of chemicals. A strange thing can be discovered at the waterfront close to the Ace Lighthouse. By using the remote hacking device on this crate, you can switch on the TV next to it to reveal a pixeled unicorn. Throughout the city, if you look hard enough, you'll find artwork of giant bats and dark shadowy figures covered with red splodges that's supposed to depict blood. The artworks appear to be a reflection of the criminal's fear of Batman. There are more names of Rocksteady developers that can be found on many industrial products. Some more references to Batman villains can be found on various billboards, such as these advertisements for Janus Health and Beauty products, which was the front for Black Mask's drugs operations back in Arkham Origins. And Harry Sims, aka Mr. Camera, is a lesser known villain whose name can be seen on these billboards next to an image of him. Onto Miagani Island. The name itself refers to an ancient tribe, meaning Bat People, and were first mentioned in the 4-part story arc Batman the Cult. Newton Fairground is named after Don Newton, a writer who did notable comic titles including Batman and Detective Comics. Inside the fairground, on a closer look at the bumper cars, you'll see Joker's face painted onto each of the cars. In Bristol is a Crank Co. Toys shop named after Cosmo Crank, who goes by the villain name The Toy Maker, and is from the 2004 animated series. The Field & Sons whiskey sign, last seen in the underground sections of Arkham City, is named after senior environment artist Jamie Field. This antiques shop refers to William Tachman, who's known by his supervillain name Clock King. He's a master strategist and proficient with time that he uses to his advantage in his criminal activities. Lunaire's is the killer Piero Lunaire, who's a silent supercriminal that dresses like a mime artist. On the Uber station platform, there are two paintings inside the Gotham coffee shop that are reused assets of the Quincy Sharp portrait seen in the first game. Another old sign from Arkham City is named after senior special effects artist Alex Underhill, and most likely Tim Davis, the game's music conductor. In the Botanical Gardens, there's a bench with a plaque on it that reveals the name Alec Holland, who's the humanoid plant creature and superhero Swamp Thing. Now going over to Kingston, Harold's Repair is named after Harold Allnut, a skilled engineer who created some of Batman's gadgets. Dr. Milo's Cocktails is named for the villain Professor Achilles Milo, who's a former chemist turned criminal. Eduardo's Jazz Club is a bit ambiguous, as some would say it's a reference to the character Eduardo Dorado, aka El Dorado, a metahuman from the cartoon Super Friends. But it may be the artist Eduardo Barreto, DC Comics artist who's done prominent works on Batman and the new Teen Titans. Cadmus is a scientific organisation that is involved in genetic research based outside of Metropolis. My Alibi is a bar and side mission location from Arkham Origins. The Bookworm was a villain created for the Batman TV series in 1966. Ferris Mall is named after Carol Ferris, the love interest of Hal Jordan. Winslow's Toy Shop is Winslow Percival Scott, a Superman villain who goes by the name Toyman. The Sane Hatter is a play on Jervis Tetch's villain name, the Mad Hatter. The Stacked Deck is a bar and favoured location for many of Gotham's criminals that was first seen in the Batman animated series. If the lightning bolts are supposed to form the letter E, then it's likely a reference to the crime boss Rupert Thorne, who's often involved in Gotham politics and the corruption of the justice system. In Grand Avenue, the Black Canary Club is named after the superheroine who has an ultrasonic scream ability and is a founding member of the vigilante team Birds of Prey. There's a theatre that's featuring the Basil Karlo horror movies, The Terror and The Terror Origins, which may be a nod to the Arkham Origins title. On the roof of the same building, there's a company name that refers to Alexander Sartorius, who's a metahuman and a villain known as Dr. Phosphorus. Wesker Theatre is named after Arnold Wesker. The ventriloquist executes his plans through a puppet named Scarface. The actors' names seen on the Revenge's Tragedy movie poster are the names of the 3 concept artists. And another poster shows the name of the senior gameplay programmer. The Slab is the shortened name for the metahuman prison SUBSRIBE Penitentiary. Danny's Sweet Shop and Colin's Bookshop are named after 2 more members of Rocksteady. And there are 2 references to villains on this film advertisement. An image of the villain Solomon Grundy, who was last seen in Arkham City. And the actor, Burt Weston, refers to the former stuntman and failed actor turned criminal, the film Freak. The name is also a fusion of Burt Ward and Adam West, who played Batman and Robin in the 60s. Before heading over to the last island, let's take a look at the various Batman hallucinations of the Joker seen throughout the city, as there are many that can easily be missed. And Joker not only appears on billboards, but also statues, and even the Lady of Gotham. Onto Founders Island, there's a cracked shipping container in Port Adams that belongs to the Daily Planet, which is a fictional newspaper publisher as well as the place of work for Clark Kent. The district called Otisburg is an area on Founders Island that is named after Lex Luthor's bumbling henchman, Otis, from the 1978 Superman movie.
Bye-bye, California. Hello, new West Coast, my West Coast. Costa del Lex, Lutherville, Marina del Lex, Otisburg. Otisburg?
Where's Tess Marshall? She's got her own place, man.
Otisburg?
It's a little bitty place.
Otisburg?
Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town. Good.
Amongst the many abandoned shops in the district is this ruined building, named after Paul Cloney, a special effects artist. John Constantine is an occult detective and member of the Justice League Dark that deal with supernatural threats. This cinema was named after Amon Tomaz, a Kandaki prince who was given the powers of Shazam by Black Adam and given the name Osiris. On a closer look at the gates by Divinity Church, you'll see that the abbreviation is the DC Comics brand logo. On the surface, there are several large corporate buildings. First introduced in the animated series, GothCorp is run by Ferris Boyle, the former boss of Victor Freeze, and the location where he had his accident and became Mr. Freeze. Amatec is a weapons manufacturer that the superhero Steel once worked for. Kale Anderson Pharmaceuticals is a company founded by Leslie Anderson and Veronica Kale. Veronica is also a criminal mastermind and an enemy of Wonder Woman. Queen Industries is owned by Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow. LexCorp is owned by Superman's arch-nemesis, Lex Luthor, who uses his businesses as a front for his criminal master plans. And Lagerquist Towers is named after a Norwegian mercenary from the 1600s who founded Gotham City. Near the LexCorp buildings are two stone monuments. The first is a large stone eye, which may be a possible reference to Brother Eye, an all-seeing AI satellite made by Bruce Wayne to spy on other members of the Justice League out of concern they ever turn enemy. And nearby is a square object with glowing veins that may be a homage to a mother box, which are artifacts made by the new gods that hold unlimited power. For the last few entries, I'll mention some small details found around the city that are of particular interest. Down the steps by the lighthouse at Panessa Studios, just before the citywide evacuation happened, it appears that a couple became engaged. Next to Merchant Bridge, there can be found a disturbing amount of empty beddings with straps on each of them. Who they were meant for, no one will ever know. There are two locations east of Bleak Island that show some of those who stayed behind after the evacuation order who are having the time of their lives. Someone appeared to be playing golf and chilling out. While the other location shows some were watching TV and even fishing. There's a couple of teddy bears behind Falcone Shipping that look like they're playing chess. Inside a destroyed building opposite the clock tower is a knife embedded into a table next to a decapitated teddy. The apartment building by the church reveals a group who are playing golf and kicking balls over the building. There's even a putting mat nearby with a board on the wall. For those who watched part 1 will recall the backroom gambling going on within the Gotham Bank, and appears to be another competition happening here as well. On a closer look at the board, the name Rob appears again, only this time he's been banned. Now this last entry is a strange one. In the alley by Grand Avenue Station, in front of the stage door, is a blood-stained carpet with a rose next to it. There's no story behind this, and there's more to it. By the top of the steps is another thorn rose that appears to point in the direction of the wall. Looking in that direction, you'll see stenciled on the wall a strange message: "You will become as one." This may be linked to Professor Pig, who uses the same kind of font, but there's no hung body, and Pig usually leaves a single word, so if it's not him, then who is this message from, and for who? Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video and I hope you enjoyed it. Part 3 will cover all the DLC and will be uploaded shortly. Then I'll reveal the top 2 videos that you have voted for me to do after Arkham Knight. Don't be disappointed if it's not the 2 you chose, because I will be covering all of them eventually. So if you haven't yet and you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. That way you can stay up to date on all future videos I put up. And as always, thanks to all of you who have subscribed and are helping to make this channel grow. So until the next video, bye everyone.